Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you today. Out with the old, in with the new. And I believe the new is tied all up on Ripple and XRP. And I think we're going to see information of that today. Let's not even wait. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackUpBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. Give us a follow on Facebook at Digital Perspectives News. No spaces. Lots of exclusive content happening there. Give us a follow. So it's 2.23 trillion for the crypto market cap. We're up a little more than 1%. Careful what we call progress, but it is the second day of 2022. January. Let's get started here. The numbers are looking like 47 plus for Bitcoin. Ethereum is $3,700 plus. Solana right now is coming in at 175 and change. Cardano is 136. We see XRP is at 84 cents. Let's look at the range of price really quickly here. 0.8399 on the bottom and 0.8549 on the top. The numbers are brought to you by Link to Private Investing Made Simple, ladies and gentlemen. You can buy private equity behind the blockchain crypto companies if you are an accredited investor. And if you're not, you should go register for free because you will get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of data points and information on all these companies, no matter what sector they're in. They have companies like Ripple, Uphold, Link to, Kraken, and so many more. BitPay when it's in there, when it's there, it's out right now. But just to show you, there's a little more than 10,000 shares of Ripple left. It doesn't last long, and you never know when's going to be the last time it's actually offered. So if you're interested, you better make your move and get it. And that's what I can tell you there. And there's great companies too in the AI sector, automation, robotics, things of that nature. Check them all out. Make sure you check it out. Let's get into this because with a new month comes a release, 1 billion XRP from escrow to kick off 2022. Shout out to ProCoin News here. Happy sponsor with them. Let's see. Unleash 1 billion XRP from escrow. And I think the takeaway here, as we know, is the 1 billion comes out. They usually keep out like 100 to 200 million for operating expenses, working with clients and financial institutions, and then put the rest on the back end of the escrow. Now, not such a big deal, but the takeaway here for me is really at the end here. Over time, it became clear that these released escrow releases do not impact the price at all. And that's something that people can really embrace because that is the truth. Because all these years later, what we really see, I believe, is the good exercise of monetary policy of a digital currency. That's what I believe. This is a show of, let's look at the escrow. Let's look at Ripple being the steward of that escrow and how well they maintain that and not really hurt the market with what they do. Now take a look at who actually holds Bitcoin. Take a look at this. Yeah, Grayscale's got 653,000 plus. The Chinese government, 194,000 plus. You see these whales here, right? Going on down, you see MicroStrategy coming in at 92,000 plus. I think to me, ask yourself, what looks better to you? Because I know what looks better to me. The Chinese government being a whale and having that much Bitcoin is a big concern at my house, just for me anyway, at least. Yeah, you have to worry about the fallout of all of these hedge funds getting into this. You know that they understand that. Where does that all end up and shake out? I don't know, but not while my pocket's invested in it, I can tell you that. Just my thought. And I hope Bitcoin does well, and I hope anybody that holds it does well. And at times I will hold it for short periods and then move it into something else and that kind of a thing. But long term, I just don't know at this point. This is TAIG, who is an amazing, amazing investigator and Twitter sleuth, and Ripple Eye, and they have found some stuff that is even more concerning when it comes to connecting the SEC and outsiders connected to Ethereum and Ethereum projects and groups. Masari and Ryan Selkis has direct connections at the SEC. He says, I think their entire SEC show at his event was a setup against Ripple XRP, and to push his political agenda, he's literally upgrading the entire EDGAR filing database system. Lubin has even said they are working on an EDGAR on EDGAR. So this is even more connections here that he shows. Founder of Consensus, Joseph Lubin, right? And he says here in this caption here, world, we are creating a system that's sort of like an EDGAR-like database, right? And then to go back to this, you see Joseph Lubin, Matt Corba, obviously, Consensus, right? And then Masari.io is where the information was. As a result, Masari started building disclosure registries, which aims to function as an SEC EDGAR database of crypto. So there is huge connections to all of this, and it just brings up even more questions and really raises more questions that really should force us all to want to take a call to action. I shared this. It's getting a lot of traction, and I hope that it's getting a lot of people motivated to take action and not just retweet it, which I am grateful for everyone doing and watching. But I hope you contact a CFPB and just go to the tab that says file a complaint and file a complaint against the SEC with the CFPB. And you can write your own message and just give them a brief summary of what you know has happened. You know, the SEC is given a unique advantage to the first ICO in crypto, which is the Ethereum founders. And we need to have that investigated, even more so with the information finding out that they're in bed with the SEC working on the new EDGAR filing database, right? There's even more reason to investigate the matter. The SEC's biased and alleged illicit role in Ethereum's exponential price hike, common news to crypto. However, the latest FOIA complaint against the SEC presented the court with proof to begin investigation into the commission's manipulations. Even more damning information. Take a look. Okay, so this is the spot I wanted to show you right here is the FOIA complaint could unveil SEC's alleged illegal market manipulation, they say. Earlier this month, the nonprofit Empower Oversight filed the FOIA request, the Freedom of Information Act complaint against the SEC in regards with its potentially illegal market manipulation to hike Ether and Bitcoin while slashing the price of XRP with a lawsuit. The SEC's bias and allegedly illicit role in Ether's exponential price hike is common news to the crypto community. However, the latest FOIA complaint against the SEC presented to the court with considerable proof to at least begin active investigation into the Commission's long-standing market manipulations. It revealed a chronological trail of the SEC and its official reportedly illicit actions, including eminent names like the former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton, and the ex-leader at the SEC Enforcement Division, Mark Berger, along with the controversial William Hinman. Further unfolding this FOIA case could lead Ripple towards a win and finally free XRP. That is exciting. Now let's get into this because this was a piece of news that was sent here, and I want you to take a look at this. Wells Fargo and HSBC prep CLS alternative, a settlement system, right? Blockchain-based technology disrupts the $6.6 trillion daily global FX market. $6.6 trillion. Wells Fargo and HSBC agree to use blockchain-based platform to settle foreign exchange transactions, a move that is likely further disrupt the $6.6 trillion daily global FX market. The December announcement will see the banking behemoth share a settlement ledger, initially process US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pound. Isn't that interesting? And Euro transactions. Blockchain is also known as a distributed ledger technology, DLT. In a statement, the bank said they plan to extend the platform to other currencies and will settle transactions outside the framework currently. Now, what's interesting about this is that we know that the current business model of any kind of transaction payments, cross-border or otherwise, credit card processing, anything like that, we know that there's a 2 to 3% charge to the merchants, right? That's what's been going on ever since we've had credit card swiping for payments, right? There's a 2 to 3% processing fee. That has become the business model. What we're talking about is a huge disruption to that. This is a video by none other than Darren Moore. You want to talk about a killer sleuth, investigator who can find things when it comes to crypto blockchain payments. This guy is remarkable. And I don't understand why he's got 38,000 subscribers, because it should be 138. This guy is fantastic. Shout out to you, Darren. I hope you're having a wonderful new year. And I want you to listen to a couple spots that I have here. First of all, go to his page, hit the subscribe button, and then watch everything. But I want to start this off here. He's showing a interview between two gentlemen talking with Chamath Palihapitiya, former payment executive from Facebook. And he's going to tell you what he thinks of what is coming very soon about shorting some of the bigger companies out here that exist, that are payment companies like Visa and Mastercard and other companies like that are public companies, because he believes the transition to these new distributed ledger blockchain crypto payment networks are going to disrupt the business model of that 2 to 3% charge so much that you could make a fortune by shorting these things. Not financial advice from me or him or anyone else. But let's take a listen here.
Survive ended up becoming worth 10 times what the current market value is. And I think that that's still possible with these crypto projects. But I'd say 90% of them are probably going to start to blow up next year.
What do you got, Chamath?
Well, I guess I'm fading you guys, and I'm also fading implicitly Friedberg's pick of Stripe. But my biggest business loser for 2022 is Visa and Mastercard and traditional payment rails and the entire ecosystem around it. So I think that this is the year you can put on what probably will be the most profitable spread trade of my lifetime, which is to be short these companies, and that anybody that basically lives off of this 2 or 3% tax, and be long, well thought out Web3 crypto projects that are rebuilding payments infrastructure in a completely decentralized way.
Now, with that being said, this is great, and I don't really want to skip forward because it's all amazing. You should go to his channel, like and subscribe, watch everything. But for the sake of efficiency and time, I'm going to bring you right here. Listen to this.
You're not going to need these companies. And so it's going to, I think, eviscerate trillions of dollars of market cap.
Well, not to mention, you also have in between these two, Venmo and Cash App, which are not crypto, but they certainly as brands mean more to young people than Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah, do you think Block, what used to be called Square, is a good pair trade against Visa and MasterCard in this context?
Yeah, I like it.
You know, I think that starts to get closer to the truth. My perspective is you can kind of short anybody who's public, because anybody who's public can really only be public or will go public because they feast off of this artificial 2 or 3% transaction fee. Everybody does. The companies you want to be long are those private companies in crypto that you can read the white papers of, whose protocols have utility, and who's building some element of infrastructure that replaces a traditional business.
Now that pretty much says it right there now, doesn't it? Now I don't know what that sounds like to all of you hearing it, but I can tell you what it sounds like to me. Again, not financial advice, but he's betting against that 2 to 3% transaction fee being disrupted so greatly by these new payment networks that actually allow this to happen for thousands of a penny, for that market infrastructure to be laid in place the way I believe Ripple has been doing. The question is Chamath Palihapitiya aware of the connection between Ripple and Mastercard and Visa with companies like Ripple partnered with Currency Cloud, which was acquired by Visa? This was all for the transition of exactly what he was talking about, the ability to move money and settle at fractions of a penny. It seems like Visa is prepared for this moment, which doesn't necessarily mean there still won't be a disruption. Because if you're going to give up to that 2 to 3% business model for thousands of a penny, there will be a point, I would imagine, where you would see a downside in the public stock and the share of the public stock, let alone if we have any kind of a correction in the market to go along with it. And then the velocity of money kicks in because it's so easy, it's so affordable and efficient to send and settle these payments. Then you're going to see that velocity of money kick in and then really probably bring the companies back up out of the ashes there. So then there is ETHport, also Ripple partner connected to Visa. You see what I'm saying here. American Express, long-term partner with Visa. It seems that on the backside of this, even though Chamath may be correct that there will be a dip, it seems the companies that he has mentioned are prepared for this transition, but it doesn't mean it won't come without growing pains. And what about our own growing pains? Remember this? This is from Bank XRP when Dilip Rao was still working with Ripple and talking about transitioning away from retail and getting more towards the full-scale intended use of Ripple and XRP itself.
Many people are using cryptos just to buy and sell and make quick gains out of it. Does it hurt the growth of cryptocurrencies, that usage for a quick buck?
So I mean, it's kind of chicken and egg. You have to create a marketplace. And right now we have about 150, 200 exchanges around the world that trade in XRP. A lot of it, as you say, is very shallow trading by individuals. And that is not the use case that we are pursuing. What we are pursuing is the use of XRP as a financial asset by sophisticated institutions as a bridging mechanism. So does this hurt or harm? Well, it creates a lot of noise. And we certainly don't want that much noise, but we're waiting. And for example, this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions, we'll start to use it for wholesale, financial usage. That's when.
And that doesn't sound like to me that's lining up exactly what Chamath Palihapitiya is talking about, that transition for these legacy payment companies moving to this full-scale wholesale back-end use here. So the question is, as retail investors in XRP, will we be able to hold it? Here's even more evidence of PayPal from a few years ago telling us that they could see benefits in using XRP backend in a congressional hearing.
I would just note that, for the kind of core banking architecture, I think there would probably be some changes needed in terms of the Federal Reserve System. But for, smaller valuation or smaller amount payments, I think you already are seeing some blockchain-based systems being created that enable the movement of money. So I think there are examples out there. We talk about XRP or others that.
There you have it, XRP or others. That's Mr. Ahmed from PayPal, another company that would be greatly affected from a disruption in the current business model of transaction fees and settlement and movement of money. That's where we are on this day, the second day of 2022. I think this is going to be an extremely interesting year, coupled with the fact that this case will end sometime this year. It was what all the legal analysts are telling us here. And this is Dark Defender telling all of us as well, as we move into 2022, with or without settlement, XRP will be hitting our midterm targets. And shows here 175, 264, 724, and 1333. How about that? I have no problem with it. And I can only imagine what the price will be once the case actually does settle, and then we have clarity, and then you see companies like Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, and others come off of the bench and show you their new business structure they have in place and begin using it. And I hope to see that answer will be XRP and the decentralized ledger, the XRP ledger. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Happy New Year to every one of you. I'm really grateful that we're on this journey together. I am grateful for each and every one of you to watch and support the channel. And I want to thank you. And I am looking forward to this year as we move through it together. I'll catch all of you on the next one.